We're moving forward with the Onda target, of course, for the PPR SPAC. We now have the lead investor group in place. That is made up of an Italian fund, a couple of Italian strategic investors, as well as we just received an indication from a Singapore fund that would like to fund for up to 2 million euro, which would be sort of the maximum pre-listing, which puts us on track with our previous schedule of having the SPAC publicly traded by the middle of June. So we're going to review the timetable as well as the conditions of the offering towards the end of the presentation. We have 4 speakers today. So we'd love for you to join us for the entire presentation. And of course, we are recording the webinar, so it will be available for replay following today's session. So with that, I'd like to get started, and I'd like to welcome Luigi Martinez, the CEO of Onda Group.
Thank you, Andrea. Welcome.
He is down in sunny Sicily today. I assume it's sunny.
Wonderful day. Still a little cold for our habits, but sun is. It remind me the sunshine of Florida, where I lived 30 years ago. 30 years ago.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So we're also, going to talk a little bit about what the situation is currently in Italy and what the, shall we say, what the conditions are expected to be in the summer and fall, as, people are getting vaccinated and as Italy hopes to open up for tourism, international tourism this summer. So let's go ahead and start the presentation, please. Okay, so these are our speakers, myself and Luigi. Then we have Mauro Tosi, who is the CEO of Ledcom SPA. That's a potential acquisition target for Onda. He is joining us from Milan. We have Chris Paget, who is the COO of TAG Investment Bank. TAG has been managing our pre-SPAC offering, and they will be participating in the SPAC listing and offering as well. And then we have Chris Wickham, who is an investment analyst to SGF Evergreen Research and has done quite a bit of research, both on the alternative energy space and on Onda as a company target. So this is an interview that we did a couple of months ago with Jane King, which aired on the Innovators Show in the US. And that was the launch of Discover Italia with the Onda Group target. So I'd like to, go over the conditions for the SPAC first, and then I'm going to turn it over to Luigi for the actual company presentation. Onda Energia, we believe, is perfectly positioned to take advantage of the growth that is occurring with remote workers moving to the Mediterranean regions of Italy. Because there is energy deregulation in full effect, there will be a continued demand for low-cost renewable electricity, which is provided, of course, by companies like Onda. Onda has a predominant position in Sicily and Sardinia. The company's Efficiento monitoring device is also something very unique in Italy. They are the exclusive distributor of this. And of course, it gives them a technological edge because it allows both consumers and businesses to monitor their energy expenditure. One of the reasons why people are moving to the Mediterranean regions is, of course, cost of living and climate. And of course, for Onda, this means a definite increase in its green energy initiatives. And this is why we also believe that they are a prime SPAC candidate because they will appeal to sustainable investment funds. So who is Onda and why are they perfectly positioned for growth? They do have representative offices in Rome, and they have headquarters in Cagliari, which is Sardinia, and Siracusa, Sicily. Efficento, as we said, is a technology that we're going to be talking more about, for which they have the exclusive in Italy. And with Efficento, they are able to enter the high volume consumer market in Italy and have an edge over the other energy providers. In addition, Onda has preferential relationships with regional governments in southern Italy, which are a definite competitive advantage. Onda benefits from EU and Italian investment funds focusing on southern Italian innovative projects as well. So among their international plans for expansion, we have Efficento, which is ready to be deployed in other Southern European markets, including France and Spain, which have a similar network frequency. And Onda has established partnerships with French, Swiss, Spanish, and Greece, basically energy trading firms, so that they are able to both access energy from those countries and expand their services into those countries. So here we have a lovely picture of Siracusa, Sicily, and where I was last summer. And I can certainly vouch for the fact that it is a great place to move to if you have the ability to work remotely. And something that, you know, I have personally done. I lived in Italy for 20 years and still spend about half the year there when it's possible. So definitely a very attractive alternative for both individuals and companies. At this point, I'm going to turn it over to Luigi Martinez, who will be explaining basically his company, Onda Group.
Thank you, Andrea, and good afternoon, everybody, or good morning, wherever you are. This is the picture we have outside our window. One office is one of this building, so every day we wake up with this wonderful peak, and that's why we keep pushing on our work, on our innovation, on everything we think could become an interesting features in our market. This is a picture when we celebrate the launch of Efficento that was last year, the end of last year in November. I'm gonna tell you what is exactly Efficento, but at the moment, just keep in mind that it is a features, an application that reduce the churn rate, that control the missing payment. So it's something that improve the main KPI in a utilities company, because the group is an utility company. We sell energy and gas. In the past, we even manage water. We was water distributor. Today we are energy and gas provider in Italy. In all Italy with a focus in the south. So the main KPI we have to keep control are churn rate, margin, and credit risk. Now we're gonna tell how we do this. The three company, we have an holding named Onda 4, and the two operative company with the license to sell energy and gas in Sardinia and Sicilia, as Andrea already said. Energy is bigger in Sardinia, even if the market is smaller. Onda is smaller in terms of revenue, but as a market bigger because Sicily is about 3 times Sardinia in terms of population and final customer. The license we get from the authority are for all the Italy, so we can develop all around in Italy wherever we want. We have final customer spread out all around Italy, as you can see in this slide, 41,823 final customer, mainly in Sicily and Sardinia, but we have a little all around in Italy. We have, of course, in Rome, we have in Milan, we have in the main town. That's allow us to check and control what is the step that this market is doing, that the privatization and the liberalization of the energy market in Italy is doing. some item before going to technology. We sell only renewable energy. We are 100% green energy provider. When we start years ago, that was a little higher in terms of cost, but we strongly believe in this. And now that we reach the digital break-even, I don't remember the terms, that we are in break-even with the cost, the energy, the green energy, especially in the south of Italy, has the same cost like the gray energy. That's why we keep trust in our strategy, and we keep selling only green energy. We start our innovation with 3 questions. By the way, in the office in Siracusa, where I'm right now, we have a floor that is the innovation center. This floor survives thanks to European fund dedicated to research and innovation. The south of Italy is benefit from this, and there are several tender that you can get to experiment, to improve technology, to make project like this. And in this floor, in the innovation center, we try to understand what is the best challenge to be different in the market, to have a different approach, to develop features that can produce value in the mind of the customer, since selling energy or selling gas is something very useful, very easy for some aspect, but on the other way is something that everybody have, nobody can make without. So you have to be different in order to conquer the customer. We started with 3 questions times ago. How many people know how much they spend for the energy bill? How many people know how much they pay for the single units for kilowatt hour? And the last question, how many people know what is the single consumption of one device of the single device in their house? What is the consumption, television, oven, refrigerator, or whatever? Okay, we discovered that in our survey that only 53% of people know what is the spending of the bill. If you match a person in the street and you ask how much do you pay the bill, only one between 53% will remember what is the cost. Only 23% know what is the cost per unit of the kilowatt hour of the energy that they consume, that they have in their house. No one, 0%, have a generic idea of what can be the single cost for the single device inside the house. And now let's go over with the bills. The energy bill, we used to say in Italy, on the left side you have a different energy bill. It's something very boring. It's close to the tax bill because it doesn't provide any useful information. It's full of details, cost, aggregation, tax information, charge for this, charge for that doesn't give any value to your energy awareness, doesn't provide any useful information. They just tell you where this money go inside the bill. Mostly of that go in the government. Most part is a tax. Probably they will even put a coronavirus tax from this year. They already put the television tax, Rai TV canon, we call it. So it's an amazing breakdown of costs that nothing have to relate with your effective consumption. This is our bill. The bill we start to distribute thanks to these features, thanks to technology, provide directly, I'm sorry it's in Italian, but you can understand the voice standby, the voice boiler, the voice AC conditioner, because these are Italian bills, provide directly the information of consumption inside your house, inside your device. So in this case, we have in this one, for example, LED is the first, 22 euros for LED, 18 euros for standby, and we put the other one all the same, just to make an example, but our features is able to check the single consumption in euro, not in kilowatt hour or something of amazing, in euro of a single device, single consumption you have inside your house. How we do this? And they provide last details. They provide even information. You can see with this up and down if this specific device is a good consumer or is a bad consumer. For example, this one is this standby, yes, and it's pretty good. This one is the LED, and probably you have to change, put LED instead of the traditional lamp. This is the technology. This is the smart meter. It's a very small meter that you can keep in hands, and you plug it very easily inside your switch in your house. So you can put 3-4 minutes, but typical are our technician who come in the house and set this one. Since it connects the Wi-Fi and they start collecting the information inside the house. This information go through the system and directly to the bill with that breakdown that you saw before. So a very small device, meter, able to provide the first useful information in the energy bill. What are the effects inside the economic of the company? Churn rate, the first challenge for utilities, especially in the privatized market, is the churn rate, because it's pretty easy to take new final customer. It's much difficult to keep it. For 1,000 the new customer that you take, probably 30-50% you lose it, because they are attracted from other offer, because they find something bad, because they don't feel comfortable with the operator. Okay, efficient, reduce churn up to 10%. And this is value, this is euro, this is margin. Because if you lose a customer, you don't have the possibility to get the margin from that, because you go to another operator. Market exposure, efficient, increase the margin up to 7%, because these new information are interesting for the customer, so they are available. They to pay something more to get this information. We just charge €2 per month to have the information, so it's something very light for the bill, for a generic bill that run from 50 to 150 euro per month. With €2 per month, you can have this service, and so this is another margin who give you result in economic terms. Missing payment, the largest part of the missing payment that is a credit risk in the bill of energy comes because you discover a bill, a price in the bill that you didn't wait, you didn't realize. At the end of the month, when the bill arrive, if is an high price, probably you delay your payment, probably you change operator, probably you think that something get wrong. Efficiento anticipate this information, because through an interesting app provide week per week what is the single bill per week, what is the bill for each device, what is the information ongoing and the consumption ongoing inside your house. Those are the number of the group. We closed 2020 with an EBITDA of just more than 1.5 million. We are around 1.6 million, and this is the revenue. We are going in 2021 with 38 million of revenue, and the EBITDA much higher, 2.7 million. And we expect next year to almost double the revenue and to have a significant increase of the EBITDA 4.5. This thanks to the combination of the phenomenon, people coming in the south, coming in our market, the people who want a new operator, a smart operator, and efficient, who make the difference with the other operator, because we are the first and unique company able to provide these features. This is another interesting project. We are trying to increase the growth, even thanks to partnership with some company like Ledecom. In a short time, the CEO Ledecom will introduce the company, the benefit coming from the synergy They provide an interesting technology that could be combined with Efficiento and Onda One. Onda is working to get the eco bonus for Efficiento. In Italy, thanks to the coronavirus recovery fund, there is the possibility to make efficiency without paying. That means that if you put, for example, a photovoltaic plant or a smart meter like Efficiento, you can be paid by a tax credit. I don't know if I have an example. No, I don't have it. Any case, you can get margin if you sell efficiency, since the tax credit provided by the government. That's work for all the photovoltaic plan or renewable plan. That's work for efficiency. That work for all the technological combination that you can provide to reduce consumption of energy, to increase efficiency inside your house. That's why the EBITDA will increase, especially in 2022. Thanks to the structuration of energy, we expect at least 2 million of increase of the EBITDA. So again, basically, what are the main items? Onda Energia is just started in November last year to deploy Efficiento in the market and to collect big data from the final consumption that will allow a new revolution in terms of service, in terms of profilation of the segment, in terms of marketing. Onda is starting to open a new store. So we have one that is the school store in Siracusa, where we teach to the other vendor partner, and where we start checking what are the single consumption inside the house, and to define the profilation of the house or the consumption, in order to push potential advertisements, potential combination of device, since we already acquire the using the habits of the consumption. This is a project that will increase again the efficiency inside the house, that will target some specific segment of market, and will study it very well in order to again reduce consumption, increase efficiency, and get tax bonus or white paper, that is another different credit that you can get from the government. Onda is teaming with Ledcom as a provider with a local municipality. In Italy, there are about 8,000 municipalities that will be contacted by the new consortium we are thinking to do, and that where we think to provide this new technology. Any case, I will leave the deck to Mr. Mauro Tosi, CEO of Ledcom, that will introduce and show better what is this technology, what can be the possible synergy with Onda, and why we are thinking to make a strong merge between the two companies. Mauro, are you ready? Hello? Mauro Tosi is here. I think so. There is a problem with, dobbiamo abilitare il microfono. If Francesca can unmute Mauro. Couple of minutes to unmute. Yes, I understand. There is a problem with the mic that probably are all muted. Francesca should avoid.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay, very good.
Sorry for the delay. Sorry for the waiting.
That's okay. Thank you, Luigi, and for the nice introduction. Yeah, well, Ledcom International is a company working in the LED market, but we don't produce the LEDs. We actually produce these devices, which are the drivers that make the LED works. We are a company out of Politecnico of Milan, one of the main technology universities in Italy. and we develop our products in Milan and with a small group of developers in Austin, Texas. And what we do is we've developed patented drivers which provide a lot of energy savings to the luminaire companies and to the municipalities who install the drivers, our drivers. But perhaps one of the main reason why we have a great synergy with Onda is the fact that our drivers also include some wireless communication device, so that when you install the power supply for the light, automatically you get to provide also smart city and IoT services. For example, you can read gas meters, water meters, and of course the Efficiento meter that Onda provides. This is true in indoor situations and outdoor situations. Indoor, when we go to residential customers, we install our drivers, especially in industrial environments, and then we can promote the Onda Energia as the energy provider. Outdoor, the situation is even more favorable because we have no interest in managing the smart city part of the network. We're just interested in selling the product. So we sell the product, we get into a good deal with the municipality, especially thanks to a very good regulation for PPP projects, public-private partnerships in Italy. And once it's installed, somebody has to manage all the smart city services. So again, we promote as a channel Onda Energia, and as an energy provider, I mean, and we also promote Onda Energia as the manager of the services that you get by installing our very, very efficient LED driver. There's a third area, which is the transformation of this driver also into a 6G microcell for 6G traffic, mobile traffic offloading, but this is beyond the scope of this presentation. I mean, maybe in the future, Onda Energia would also want to get involved into this mobile communication ultra broadband side. But for the moment, our products in the it's the same product. It's a driver which works in the lighting business for energy saving and in the smart city business by collecting information and providing services, car park management, as I said, meter reading. And this is a great addition to the Onda Energia proposal. If anything, because we are based in Milan, in the north of Italy. I mean, Onda is a nationwide company, but in the north they have smaller offices, whereas we are very strong in the north part of the country. And internationally, we can help them a lot, including the US. And they're very strong in the southern part of the country and in the central part of the country. So by basically putting together the products of Ledcom as a high-tech company and the services of Onda Energia together with their Efficiento solution, we believe that they can be a very, very advanced energy provider, not just based on simple energy trading, just like the majority of the companies. Yeah, the other slides are just an introduction again to our products. You can see here, you know, this is a typical outdoor situation where we install the driver and the driver can read all these meters, for example, which is an ideal situation for Onda when they go out and provide the energy. They can also provide the service of reading all the other services in the municipality. Luigi mentioned the consortium that we are putting together. It's a very important consortium because there are some ESCOs companies and many companies that can fund also these large projects. Onda on the energy and service management, and Ledcom, which provides the products. Why is it important? It's important because there are about 8,000 municipalities in Italy, and through the consortium, and as I said earlier, a very, very favorable PPP regulation, we think we can address most of these municipalities, including those that have already installed LEDs, because our patented solutions allow them to save energy against other LED drivers. And with this consortium, as I said, we plan to increase considerably our revenues, and Onda obviously is expected to do the same, if anything, for the large, the sheer size of the market of these municipalities. That's it.
Thank you, Mauro. Thank you very much for the presentation. Every
Pleasure.
time your technology, I start dreaming of what could be the next possible combination and next possible synergy.
If you want to get into the 6G business, then we can talk about it.
I was thinking about. Thank you very much again. This is our group executive team. We have a general manager in Sardinia and Sicilia, since they are very different land, different situation. They have a strong relation with the local municipality, with the local channel. Each of these land has a different story. Sardinia is we used to say that Sardinia is much more island than Sicilia, since it's much more far from Italy and so on, and this make a difference. And of course, there are two CFO in each company able to provide the resource, especially for the innovation center, for the technology and for the next develop we have to run, especially for the next step of the efficiency and the synergy with LEDCom. So again, this is probably the best year to invest in utilities in Italy since the introduction made by Andrea, because the flow of people coming from the north of Europe in Italy and in the south of Italy, since the eco bonus that provide tax credit for investments in energy efficiency. If you put a photovoltaic plant in Italy, you can get an eco bonus. So basically, you make it free, for free. Efficiento give, as we said, a different competitive advantage in Italy, and probably not only in Italy, because we are thinking about an expansion in Europe. If one of the aim of this SPAC is even to spread in the Europe with this technology, with this combination of service. Utilities again are expected to benefit from this movement of population from the north to the Italy to the south, and probably the PPR SPAC has an MOU to acquire Onda and to made other acquisition inside the Europe with other company with the same kind of business and interesting market in interesting position. The post-pandemic recovery SPAC intends to offer 25 million in a public offering within 45 days, starting from now. But I will leave these single details to Andrea, who can get back to the deck and introduce the news in this part, the news in this listing, where we arrived, what we expect to do in the last months.
Sure. Thanks very much, Luigi. So, people want to know, why did we choose AIM Italy for the SPAC listing? AIM Italy is actually now a part of Euronext Group. We're going to be updating that. That is the news as of 3 days ago. LSE, London Stock Exchange Group, did sell AIM Italy along with Borsa Italiana, to Euronext Group for about €5 billion. However, the rules have remained the same, and it is currently the only exchange which allows SPACs to name their company target prior to listing. And of course, we believe that this makes it a lot less risky in comparison to other SPACs that are, of course, open-ended. And as we said, because now they're a part of Euronext Group, Euronext Group actually includes about 8 different national exchanges within the EU, including Amsterdam, which is currently the hottest market for SPAC listings, France, Luxembourg, Belgium, Norway, and Portugal. So an introduction to the sponsor team for the post-pandemic SPAC Discover Italia vertical. Myself, I'm the founder and CEO of the SPAC. I'm also the founder and CEO of Swiss Growth Forum. I've raised over $2 billion for about 450 companies on 4 continents. And of course, a lot of you investors know me from the hundreds of roadshows and forums that we have hosted throughout Europe, the Middle East, and Asia. My previous company, Monaco Growth Forum, was the only PR company to be acquired by a public company in Europe in 2017. And that public company was actually listed on AIM Italy. We also have Joseph Konowiecki. He is now the chairman of Alignment Healthcare, which is trading at a 4 billion market cap. They went public on March 27th and are up about 35% from their IPO price. That symbol is ALHC. And he was also the former general counsel of United Health Group when that company, when Pacific Care was sold to UHG for 9.2 billion, and a founding partner of one of the most prestigious M&A healthcare law practices in California. Garrett Van Wagner, founding partner of Van Wagner Venture Fund, also synonymous with .com IPOs, was managing 20 billion at Van Wagner Funds, and has about 35 years of experience in the fund management industry in the US and Europe. So this term sheet is the one that basically is sold out at the moment. We do have, basically some very small sort of strategic positions left, but in terms of the amount, we believe that this is already closed. In fact, we've just had a 2 million euro indication from a Singapore-based wealth manager that wants to acquire companies such as Onda, high growth, alternative energy targets. We also have 2 other lead investors, both of which are Italian. One of them leads a major fund, and the other one is an ultra high net worth individual. But just to go over the terms, essentially it's 25,000 euros per unit minimum, 1 million euro maximum, which we've already reached, as we said. And the placement agent is TAG Investment Bankers of the UK. We're going to have a link that goes to their page at the end of this. And of course, Tanucci Partners is the law firm. They're based out of Rome. So the sponsor offering terms, as we said, the maximum common shares is 200,000 of the company shares priced at 5 euros per share. Assuming maximum subscription for a basically maximum 50% of the total shares issued by the company at closing. The warrant coverage is 100%. These are 1-year warrants that are exercisable at 5 euros per share on investments over 100,000 euros. And the lockup offers 2 options. Option 1 is a guaranteed buyback of all pre-SPAC shares at 10 euros per share before the listing of the SPAC. So essentially that is a 100% return without waiting for the public SPAC to open for trading. Option number 2 is that you do remain invested, in which case you would have to hold for 90 days following the public listing on AIM Italy. Obviously, that is an expectation of the fact that it will trade at a premium. The average trading premium of AIM Italy SPACs is in fact about 40%. So here's our timeline. The closing of the sponsor round, as we said, that's already sort of fully subscribed. So we believe we will meet and anticipate the April 30th deadline. By April 30th, we also plan to announce the Nomad that we have engaged, as well as the listing prospectus, which has been completed. And between May 1st and May 20th, the public SPAC offering round will be open. May 31st is when we plan to close the public SPAC round of 15 to 20 million. And by June 10th, we will be submitting the application to trade with AIM Italy. Projected trade date, June 20th, so right before the summer holiday and right before the end of Q2 as well. Thank you. So just to go over the use of proceeds, I am going to turn that back over to Luigi, and then we will go to TAG Investment Bankers COO.
Thank you very much. This is the actual use of proceeds, since it depends even on the develop of the market. In Italy, we are following all the steps, and we are increasing day by day our market share. Probably at the state of the art, 2 million will be spent in develop efficient technology, since we have to sophisticate the capacity to profile the single device inside. Today is a smart meter able to provide information over the single consumption, able to provide a smart bill who give you information that no one give you before. Tomorrow, in our vision, efficient will become a tool able to address domestic tool inside the house, able to push specific needs for your efficiency, able to say that in south of Italy you must push new refrigerator in third class, or LED particular lamps made by LED, since the capacity to have data, big data, collect inside the customer and able to target the effective needs of the market. So this is the first 2 million. Other 2 million is for the expansion of the market, so just increase the penetration in our market to supply renewable energy, of course, to household customer and commercial business. 2 million we expect to spend with LEDCom, with the technological partners. We have a huge project with them, with the municipality and so on. We already spoke. 10 million is to acquire other, we already provide other utilities like us, since we provide them energy or service, and we intend to buy it in order to have one brand, one margin, one cash flow, one company able to make synergy and efficiency inside the economic account. 4 million is the last one, is for digitization and social media development for all the push we need to make to the market. So basically are advertisement, social, digital, and so on. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to have Chris Wickham speak on behalf of Chris Paget. Chris Wickham is also Director of Investment Banking at TAG Investment Bank in the UK, and he will explain how to subscribe to the current sponsor round, as well as give his research opinion on Onda Group.
Yeah, hi, I'm Chris Wickham. I'm Financing Director of TAG Investment Bankers, but I also do, historically done a fair amount of research work for Andrea's very innovative investment research platform, which is Evergreen, the Swiss Growth Forum research brand. This has been a very, very exciting few months of my life working with Luigi on Onda Energy, and I think we're really seeing some progress, and I think it's real endorsement of the quality of the investment opportunity that Andrea has got indicative interests out of Singapore to invest in the pre-SPAC funding round of 2 million euros. I mean, it's what it says quite clearly. If you want to subscribe to the pre-SPAC sponsor round, which is an opportunity through the warrant system and what we call the initial preference share offering, to make a significant amount of upside right from the very start if you are an investor, which is rightly so, because you're funding the early stages and the feasibility of what we're doing and getting the SPAC to happen. And then once Onda lists and goes into the SPAC and then effectively is listed in an IPO and listed in its own right, then it's great that it'll have the next round of funding, and that'll give the company the firepower to make the acquisitions that it needs for further non-organic expansion. The investment case for Onda is very clear. It's vital energy services, offering people an ability to save money on what are notoriously expensive energy costs in Italy through very smart, technologically enabled management of their electricity usage within their homes. And it's quite clear, because I had comments coming out of London market where people saying, well, what's the future in Italy? And isn't energy notoriously expensive in Italy? Well, that's the whole point, because when you have a product like Efficiency, you will be able to reduce your energy costs from very high levels, and so people have a massive incentive to take it up. As a result, I think I've said it before on these calls, I always benchmark early stage investments by 5 criteria. I look at the proof of concept, I look at a growing addressable market, I look at the due diligence on the business, I look at the management team, and I look on the valuation. And I think that all 5 of those criteria would suggest that Onda is a very exciting company right now into which investors should put their money.
Thanks very much, Chris. So here you have our contact details, both my own at Post-Pandemic Recovery SPAC, as well as TAG Investment Bankers. And at this point, I would like to open it up to any questions that there may be. Please feel free to put them in the chat box. Okay. Well, if we have not, if we have exhausted all the questions in that point, I think we will just make sure that the webinar is posted online. We'll also be distributing this via a press release. And of course, you can always check back on postpandemicspac.com for updates on the deal closing as well as trading. So we really appreciate your participation today. Please feel free to reach out to any of us with any further questions you may have. And we certainly welcome your participation in the public round, which will be announced by the end of April. Thanks once again. This is Andrea Porcelli signing out. Thank you, Luigi.
Thank you, Andrea. Goodbye.
Thank you, Mauro. And thank you, Chris. Take care. Thanks again. Bye-bye.